Hi, I'm Christina Abate, and I'm from Novità Communications in New York, and been representing the Italian ceramic industry for almost 30 years now. So I love Italian ceramic tile, and I love Cersaie. Many times that I've been to the show, and it's my honor to be here today with Sergio Mannino of Sergio Mannino Studio, also here in New York. And we're going to have a little chat for Cersaie Small Talks, just about his work and studio's work, and then Italian ceramics as we talk. So welcome, Sergio. Thank you for being here.
Thank you guys for inviting me, for thinking of me.
Yeah,
Thank you.
great.
It's a pleasure.
So first of all, why don't you start off with just telling everyone a little bit about your studio, its history, and a little more about how you guys work there.
So I'm Italian. I studied architecture in Florence. Last year in Milan, I graduated with Ettore Sozzas. Yeah. And then I worked in Italy for a couple of years. And then I thought like I was going to open my office in Florence. And I got scared of being stuck in Florence for the rest of my life. So I thought like, okay, I'm going to go to New York for 1 year. Then I'm going to go to Tokyo for 1 year. And then I'll go back to Florence and open the office. So I'm still thinking about the next stop, which would be Tokyo. But after 19 years, I think
well, it all sounded like it was happening very recently. This was 19 years ago, the first time in New York, and then you didn't get back on that bus to go towards it.
Yes. So maybe one day I'll do the next step, but we'll see.
Well, I think the beautiful thing is to have a life where you can have New York and Italy. So going back and forth, working with Italian products, and then clients that bring you to both places. I think that's what makes my life so rich. And
yes, and you know, my soul is Italian. The design, everything we do has definitely an Italian imprinting in it. So using Italian products is always the natural place to go, right? Like it's pretty obvious, and it's part of us. It just comes naturally when we see things. Yes.
The Made in Italy brand is like so fundamental, and I love that you.
Yes, and also and since I opened the office 12 years ago. And since I started, like I was always putting Italian products, from tiles, of course, but even lighting or furniture. There's always something there that will give you a little hint of where we come from, and that's part of the language.
So is that part of your language, your sort of style, I guess?
Yes. And it's not something that is forced. But it's something that comes obviously from the culture where I grew up, where I studied, the things we like. And these are all things that I share with the people in the office that work with me, obviously. Some of them are Italians, so they understand, they're part of it. Some younger than me, so that they bring even the younger generation of designers in. But
the new perspective. How many are you on the studio? How many they're working together?
There is like 3 people plus several consultants. And now, because of what's going on with COVID, we're actually all working remotely.
Okay.
So, these consultants are expanding in locations. They're not necessarily in New York, they're somewhere else. A few years ago, we did a large project in China, in Shenzhen. And so we worked with the team that was in Beijing supervising the project. Another team was in Italy, and another team was here. So we're constantly working on the same files 24 hours a day. We were joking about opening a post in Hawaii so that every 6 hours somebody would work.
Getting started. I think those tools that we have at our disposal now have just changed everything. And
yes.
I think that for me too, that global collaboration to kind of be able to hit something to your colleague in Italy or to Tokyo, wherever that colleague might be, and then get that back in real time. And
yeah, I think it's forcing us to change the way we work and improve in a way and learn very, very quickly.
Yeah.
I think in 3 months, we probably advanced 5 years.
Oh yeah, that's what they're saying. It's like the amount of growth, online sales, all the changes in this last three
Yes.
months for all of us personally and then professionally as we navigate these very dynamic waters. So are you in the studio? Are you still working on projects that you had started before everything
Yes.
happened? Or yeah, so you still
Yes.
have a busy schedule? Are you finding any new work coming in?
We are completely overwhelmed. Yes, we have a lot of work, and that did not slow down. Also, because most of the work we're doing now is for a pharmaceutical company. It's a Medley pharmacy.
Wow.
Last week they got $100 million of funding, so they're expanding quickly.
Yeah.
And these are considered essential also. So all the projects that were ongoing, the job sites didn't even shut down.
But I think finding those opportunity areas is very, it's very rewarding at this time. So that's
Yes.
amazing. You have that.
And we like to work with brands that are starting. So it's always like new clients that are coming to us with like simple ideas, and they want to do the first location or the branding. But we do architectural branding. That's how I define the studio. So we're not really interior designers or architects. We build the brand with the client so that we make sure that the space reflects the values of the brand and it tells their story. So for Medley, for instance, that's how we started. There were like 3 employees when we started 3 years ago. Now they have 500.
Wow. Well, I think that's a really interesting thing going on in design and architecture. The branding agencies are getting more and more into the architecture and interior space, but they're that having that thinking, that branding thinking come in at the start. And I think by working for young companies, you can be part of just actually developing that branding and then have it all be interpreted in the interior. So that every touch, it's all about experience design. So everything
that's what we're specializing basically.
Everything I've seen of you guys have done, it's just like you can really feel almost just see the experience, feel the experience by looking at the photos, even if you're not in the space. And I think that is a testament to that design thinking that you're bringing it's the right direction, I think, in so many ways of where things are moving. So kudos, you've got some good between the clients and healthcare, which is another area where there is an essential business element, and then also this. This is for Cersaie Small Talk this period. So you've been to Cersaie in the past?
Yes, I've been when I was in Italy. So I think it's 20 years at this point.
Did you go just to learn more and experience the show?
Yes, and to see the products and to experience new things and see, because you see the real new products coming out firsthand.
Yes.
And because we're trying to design and always like be contemporary and put things that are new, it's very important for us to have a sense of what's going on around.
Be aware. How do you get most of your information, like on new products? Like where do you find a lot of that?
Online at this point. We have suppliers that we work with that send us the emails when there is something new, and we have people we establish relationships with. But there are also companies that we follow, and even on Instagram, we see when there's a new product or there's something that we know right away.
Wow. Well, tell us.
But seeing it firsthand, it's very different.
I know. That's what we have to bring you to Cersaie. We got to get you there next year. 20 years.
I'll come. 2021.
That's right. That's right. So you submitted a project for the Ceramics of Italy design competition for the U.S. side, North America, and it had a great project, an honorable mention. So I don't know if you want to tell us a little bit about that project and some of the others where you've used Ceramics of Italy in your work. Want to share some things with the viewers?
So that project was the Hirschleifer Shoe Salon. Mm-hmm. Hirschleifer is a large conglomerate of different brands and stores in Manhasset, Long Island. Mm-hmm. Very, very high end. It's a beautiful mall, and every store is impeccable. So they asked me a few years ago, to design the shoe salon that would carry different brands. It's not only for one brand, mm-hmm. but we're talking Valentino, Chanel, the top. Mm-hmm. It's a women's salon. And the project was very successful and was very well received. And for that, we used the tiles that had this wood look. It
Mm-hmm.
looks like it's a wood plank, but it's actually a tile. And then it was mixed in with a carpet where you would walk when you try the shoes on. And we matched the carpet with the tile to create like a surface that's almost the same. You can see the difference, but it's kind of smoothed in.
Right.
And then all around is very sophisticated lacquer pieces, and most of them have references to my passions in art or in design. For instance, like there is a large neon light that is a reference to the Lucio Fontana at the Triennale
Right.
in the 50s.
Right.
That was made in the East Village, actually.
Ah.
Yeah, by an artist, and it wasn't an easy project. It broke 3 times before installing it. Was very
Wow.
delicate.
Yeah.
And then there is another piece. There is at the entrance there is a couch that is a reference to a Joe Ponti couch that I love. So it has a glass cabinet that it's sitting on top of the couch.
Yeah.
And that's a reference to the Joe Ponti. Joe Ponti had it in wood.
Right.
It's a completely different design, but that's
inspired.
yes,
Yeah, inspired.
that's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
And are there other projects you want to tell us a little about where you used Italian ceramics at all?
We use Italian ceramics a lot.
I love that. I love that.
So yes, to get, like I said before,
here.
together with furniture and many other things, but definitely the tiles, especially because the tiles make the space.
Yeah.
I think a good floor can turn a space completely into something very sophisticated. So I feel like it's the first thing that you have to select, and you have to be very, very careful when you're picking it. Then, of course, the lighting is important and everything else, but a good floor makes a space.
I love that. I think we have time for like one or two more, like a project or two else. I mean, I don't know, something you're working on now, or you just recently did, or something where you used Italian tile. Or...
So, like I can mention, for instance, we did a butcher shop, an organic butcher shop in Williamsburg a couple of years ago. It had ceramic tiles like Calacatta finish. So it's a reproduction of a Calacatta marble, but it's actually a ceramic tile. Another project we did a restaurant. It was called Susanna, and we used this handmade tiles on the wall that kind of reference the traditional checkered red and white cloth that you find in the
Italian restaurant.
in the Italian restaurants. Yeah, but we put that on the wall. And then those tiles are beautiful. Even the surface is beautiful. I saw by going to the restaurant, people actually touch it because there is a surface.
Well, that tactile materiality, that just like that is something that you need to make a great tile for that. Yeah.
And then another project that we're doing now, as I mentioned before, for Medley, we're doing their headquarters here in Brooklyn. It's a large project. I think it's 35,000 square feet.
Wow, complimenti.
So it's a very large project, and we are using Italian tiles in the kitchen and in the bathrooms. In the kitchen, especially, all the backsplash going all the way up actually to the ceiling. It's got this biscuit tiles that goes all around, and this one also has a tactile quality in it, because some of them have like they're protruding, another one they have a different finish, so it's very interesting. We're very excited about that. It's under construction, so I don't have pictures.
Okay, when you're ready, we want to see that. You got to keep submitting to our competition, because it's like it's so wonderful to see these, just to see the tiles in situ, like created and with a wonderful architect like you. Your studio is, I guess, in New York. Is it in? It's in Brooklyn?
We're in Bushwick. We moved to Bushwick a few years ago. Before we were next to you in Dumbo.
Okay. Yeah.
And now we're in Bushwick. It's very exciting, actually. We're very happy being here. Also because we do things with obviously a lot of things custom. Yeah. So we can find people around where we are to manufacture things. There are a lot of artists, even in the building where we are. There are a lot of artists. So
the makers that are
correct. Yes. So that's great.
Support each other. Yeah, I love that. Kind of like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
old Italian model where you're got this like one little studio from each other and just help each other to kind
Yeah,
of
it's like the Veneto Northeast, right? Like or the
exactly
Brianza, where you
yeah,
have this network of factories. Everyone specializes in one thing.
one thing, and then
Yes,
they all come together. All
yes.
right, well, this is so beautiful to spend some time with you. So I hope we can next time be seeing each other, not in New York, but in Italy together.
We'll meet at Cersaie.
Yeah, per sicuro. So grazie mille, and ci vediamo presto. And I really appreciate your time for Cersaie Small Talk. So
Grazie.
we'll
Thank you so
speak to you
much.
soon.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.